Echoes of Himmelberg. A tale of war and resilience. The village of Himmelberg, nestled in the serene hills of southern Germany, was a place of tranquility and timeless beauty. The cobblestone streets meandered through clusters of half-timbered houses with their flower boxes brimming with vibrant blooms. Life in Himmelberg was a tapestry of routines and traditions, where the villagers lived in harmony with the land and each other. At the heart of this peaceful village was the Müller family. Heinrich, a stoic but kind-hearted farmer, his wife, Greta, a warm and nurturing presence, and their two children, Johann and Liesel. The Müllers were a cornerstone of the community, embodying the resilience and simplicity of rural life. The villagers gathered at the church on Sundays, celebrated harvest festivals with joyous abandon, and supported each other through thick and thin. But this idyllic existence was shattered with the onset of World War II. The village, which had once seemed so far removed from the political turbulence sweeping across Europe, found itself ensnared in the conflict's relentless grasp. The rumblings of war first reached Himmelberg as distant whispers, brought by travelers and radio broadcasts. As the months passed, those whispers grew into a deafening roar, echoing through the once quiet valley. The war's first tangible impact on Himmelberg came with the conscription orders. Young men, including Heinrich's son Johann, were summoned to serve in the Wehrmacht. The villagers, who had always faced life's challenges together, now watched helplessly as their loved ones were sent off to battlefields far from home. The departure of these young men left a void in the village, an absence felt keenly by all. As the war intensified, the skies over Himmelberg were no longer the domain of songbirds and clouds but of roaring aircraft. Allied bombing raids became a grim reality, their targets often indiscriminate. The villagers were forced to construct makeshift bomb shelters, digging into the earth they had once tilled so lovingly. Nights were spent huddled in fear, the sounds of explosions and collapsing buildings becoming all too familiar. The Müller family, like many others, struggled to adapt to this new reality. Heinrich worked tirelessly to keep the farm running, despite the scarcity of supplies and the constant threat of air raids. Greta's once cheerful demeanor grew strained as she worried about Johann and the safety of their. The skirmish left many of Thomas's comrades dead or wounded. As night fell, the surviving members of his unit regrouped. The forest, once an ominous labyrinth, now felt like a graveyard. They had to move deeper into enemy territory. Partisan groups, opposing the Nazi regime, took refuge in the forests surrounding Himmelberg. While their cause was just, their presence brought additional peril to the villagers. The partisans launched attacks on German military convoys and installations, prompting brutal reprisals from the occupying forces. The villagers, caught in the crossfire, lived in constant fear of both sides. The mental toll on the villagers was immense. Relationships strained under the weight of suspicion and fear. Trust, once the bedrock of the community, became a rare commodity. People who had known each other their entire lives now eyed their neighbors with unease, wondering who might be collaborating with the enemy or the partisans. The Müllers, like many families, found solace in their unity. Heinrich and Greta did their best to shield Liesel from the harshest realities, but the war had a way of seeping into every corner of their lives. Letters from Johann were infrequent and often cryptic, revealing little of his true condition. Each day without news was a trial, and each letter that did arrive brought both relief and dread. The true horror of the war descended upon Himmelberg in the winter of 1944. Allied forces were advancing, and the front lines drew closer to the village. The bombardments intensified, and the villagers were forced to make a harrowing decision: stay and risk annihilation or flee and face the unknown perils of displacement. For the Müllers, the choice was agonizing. Heinrich did not want to abandon the farm, the land that had been in his family for generations. Greta feared for Liesel's safety, knowing that staying could mean death. Ultimately, it was Johann's latest letter that spurred their decision. He urged them to leave, to find safety beyond the reach of the war. His plea, filled with love and desperation, could not be ignored. The villagers of Himmelberg banded together for the arduous journey. They packed what they could carry and set off on foot, their destination uncertain. The roads were treacherous, filled with the debris of war and patrolled by both German and Allied forces. The villagers faced hunger, cold, and exhaustion, their spirits tested at every turn. The Müllers, with Heinrich's steadfast resolve, Greta's nurturing care, and Liesel's youthful resilience, became symbols of hope for the others. They navigated the dangers with a combination of caution and courage, finding shelter where they could and sharing what little they had with those in need. Their journey was marked by moments of despair but also by acts of kindness and solidarity that rekindled their faith in humanity. As they crossed into neutral Switzerland, the villagers experienced a bittersweet sense of relief. They had escaped the immediate horrors of the war. But the scars it left were deep and enduring. The journey had taken a toll on their bodies and minds, and the prospect of rebuilding their lives in a foreign land was daunting. For Heinrich, the loss of the farm weighed heavily, but he found solace in the safety of his family. Greta's nurturing spirit blossomed anew as she helped other refugees adapt to their new surroundings. Liesel, despite the traumas she had witnessed, embraced the opportunity to learn and grow in a peaceful environment. And Johann, who survived the war and was reunited with his family, bore the marks of battle but also a newfound appreciation for the simple joys of life. Himmelberg itself, though ravaged by war, remained in their hearts as a symbol of what had been and what could be again. The villagers, though scattered, kept the memory of their home alive, passing down stories of their resilience and unity to future generations. In the years that followed, the Müller family and their fellow villagers found ways to rebuild their lives, drawing strength from their shared experiences. They discovered that even in the face of unimaginable horror, the human spirit could endure and even thrive. Their story, a testament to the resilience of the people of Himmelberg, became a beacon of hope for others facing the darkness of war. In the end, the village of Himmelberg was more than a place, it was a community bound by love, courage, and an unbreakable spirit. In the end, the village of Himmelberg was more than a place, it was a community bound by love, courage, and an unbreakable spirit. Like, subscribe and share for more interesting stories.